Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, it is Shooter. It is a little after 5 on March 18th, 2024. I'll go over primary waves here. Of course, at the end of our presentation, please do review our disclosures. I'm going to jump through quite a number of charts here, so get your notepad out. All right, now, overshoots tend to be important because they establish overshoots from a bottom, okay? So, we sort of had our confirmed low and a divergent low here. All right, even though it was a double bottom in the RSI. Now, ironically, I need to get a label up here. Our January 17th low here, our February 21st low, and Friday's lows all coincide from that off number. So, technically, we could come in and say that's our new trend support line. Now, the other thing is a lot of the noise up here as far as the intermediate waves is gone. Okay, so right now it says 520. From where we are, so maybe $8 higher, and it says our primary wave 3 is going to flush. Now, note how close we are to that March 22nd date. I feel it's ironic that we're starting to get all of this noise, little excitement, little fear, lots of FOMO, lots of FOL in different symbols. A lot of symbols are looking weak, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to show here. So notice where our confirmed high was, and then we've had divergent highs all the way up, this straight leg up. About 50% back is at 470. I think it's very viable here. So let's jump over and look at the NASDAQ. Not quite as clean, looking for that, let me get my label up, at 431.95, saying that that's our low. We really don't have any trend support here outside of this channel here. So we got quite a ways down to that 392, at least where I'm seeing support. Now, I wanted to go through some of the ETFs. Financials are holding up well. Select Tech looks like it's ready to roll over, but it's still kind of flaggy. So, that 217 is viable. Realize if we're going to roll over, it'll be this 4 that extends and becomes elongated. XLV looks like it wants to roll over also. IYT is sort of flat, poked its head back above. Breakout line just for a second, week before last. Looking at semis, now it suggests that our primary wave 4 is in, so maybe 213.61, it's done. Energy looks a little bullish. I would like it better off the 50-day for a shot up at that 94 here. And then just taking a look at real estate here. Really no man's land because we're not weak, but we're not bullish either. Now, let me jump over and look at the Magnificent Seven. Have big news with Nvidia, supposedly coming out with a new AI chip. I find it ironic that we're holding here around 880 into that news. So that looks like to me like it wants to roll over. Now, I'm going to go back to my thesis a few weeks ago. I think semis need to roll over for this market to roll over. All right. So now we looked at SMH. Now we're looking at Nvidia. They look weak to me. They're no longer our strength. I want to point that out. Amazon, maybe wants to roll over, but it looks more flaggy to me than not. But I do think that 189 is viable, and then we get about a $30 drawdown from there. Now, Google got a nice pop on the news that Apple is going to start using their AI, and then we sort of faded after the close. So I'm sort of a mixed bag there. But we do have significant upside in Google versus the rest of the Magnificent Seven from here. So as long as we hold above this 141.22, sort of that 382, I would think that this is viable to the upside, and this might be the one that continues to be our leader in the Magnificent Seven. Now, looking at Microsoft, very flat here. It doesn't look like we're going to get much more out of this at all. However, in the past, flat, it took it right out. They came in and bought it anyways. And that's where, it's challenging here because the rotation is significant enough. And once the volume's gone, it's gone, and your premiums just get annihilated. Quickly. So it's very hard to chase long, and it's very hard to chase short because there's not enough follow through in either direction to make any money on. All right, so let's look at Meta. Now, honestly, still one of the most bullish charts out there. I actually was hoping I'd get a back test around 400 so I could get an entry, shooting for that 5. It doesn't look like it's going to give it to me. I left my old labels up there around 437, 436 area. However, with market weakness, we could roll over. We've got another confirmed leg here. So what does that mean? At least one more higher leg. So I'd say that 569 is viable. It's about $100. I'm not chasing any longs, but it's a good candidate for that if anybody wants to put on the risk. Looking at Apple, just looks to me like it's going to roll over. Says this 165. That's going to be lower than our 165.67 by $1. And historically, Apple has gotten a decent rally off of those lows. So maybe we do get back up to the 8-day. Now, looking at Tesla, it's all over the map here. My labels are just absolutely insane on this. We got a nice little push off of the news, that Germany was up and running, that they raised the price of $1,000. But I'm still keeping my 146 label down here. Reason is we need it needs to balance out somewhere, and this was extended. This which originally was way the heck down here. So it's even today it was very extended. I still think that we're going to come in and we get another confirmed low here. I do think it breaks down just from how it feels, and we were in such tight range at the end of today. It's just, to me, it feels like it's not done to the downside. All right, I wanted to bring in Micron today, and the saying goes, the way Micron goes, the way the S&P goes. So this is consistent with what I'm seeing in the SPY chart. So, maybe we do get a little bit of a push. We got earnings. So that could give us a new high. But at this point, I'm not chasing it again. I'm on probation. Whenever I drop below a 50% win rate, I'm off the table for a couple of days till I let things settle, because I've learned that's the best thing to do. Just give yourself a little time, wait for a clear sign to get back in the markets long or get back in the market short. I don't have that in either direction here. But Micron looks toppy like a flat, very much like Microsoft looks, and very much like the S&P looks. Now, I want to throw Cat in here because Cat really is roaring. And this is what I mean by a mixed message. So we have IYT, which is at breakout, which is resistance. We have Cat, which is breaking out, and it's got some nice FOMO, right? And then I wanted to look at eBay. eBay, very much like transportation, right at the breakout line, rejected it just a little bit today. So maybe we do get that 49.98. It was in my swing trade notes. I liked it more than anything else that I was saying after FOMC, might be a good time for us to get an entry on. And let me end with crypto. Now, Bitcoin does not look done to the downside here. This rejection to some degree here implies that 60K 59,348 is viable. I want to look at GBTC, broke below trend support. So, our next trend support is way the heck down here. And just for time's sake, we got a little bit of room until we get there. So GBTC may be back to 52. Now that's back where my 51.58 next entry was. Just raising that as a statement. All right, looking at BITO, our trend support's a little bit further down, at 28.84. But our count is now down there around 29.89. I think that might extend. And actually, as I update my counts, that's what it's telling me. We get a little bit lower, maybe 27.70. So, hey, I'm going to move my next entry long down there at 27.70. Now, I bet, our only trend support we have here, it's really such a thin chart. It's like, really hard to say, hey, this is what we're going to get. But, breakdown here, trend support is 34.09. So looking at the weakness in Bitcoin, I think this is very viable, and the ETFs are supporting that type of a drawdown. Now, one thing that we did get a little bit of a push on today was Hood first thing this morning. It's pretty much given about half that candle back. I realized it was playing catch up. So, right now the count's showing a little bit shallower than where it was, which is sort of supportive. But maybe that 1633 is a good spot to put a piece on with Hood. Now, ironically, Marathon actually showed a little strength today. Might have had something to do with all those call options. Hasn't changed the count at all. And then let's take a look at Coin, because I actually like Coin long. I just wish it'd give me my number. I wanted 217.95, did not get it, so I didn't take it. But that ultimately is my look here. So, I think Bitcoin does follow through to 60K. I would say at least to my 62.47 off number where we have some confluence. So I think we at least get back down there. And that's pretty much what I have for today, folks. Great trading. Until next time.